Well, welcome to part two of the Funday Sunday Club. I'm Nigel Blair, if you've just joined us, and a young gentleman has just joined me. His name is Ali MacKenzie, and Ali is a world wonder machine as regards music's concerned. I first came across him when he was playing with Ragbone, and then, of course, Sam Davison's Taste. But in his bassist form, he's normally very, very close to a guy called Lynn McMullan. And between the two of them, well, they produce the best rhythm section you're going to get around. And to prove that, Ali has been writing, and this, in fact, is his second album. And we're going to play you a track from that just now. Well, instrumental that has been poked at by many people as if it came from Mike Oldfield. Well, that's not a bad thing at all, because Mike Oldfield is one of the best, and we have one of the best sitting with us here today, and that, of course, is our own good friend, Ali MacKenzie. Good afternoon, Ali.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me over. Great.
Yep, great to be here, he says. So, and it is because we get a chance to sample his work. As I say, he plays with people known as the heads, effectively, in the music business, who've been top echelon of society in the music world. We did mention Lynn McMullan there. Of course, there's a host of them. And as I say, our gentleman that has been in the show and in the studios quite a few times, from Taste, yes.
Yeah.
You know who that is, don't you?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, everybody rates this gentleman extremely high, and myself as well. So I thought I better bring him along. Ali, when did this project start?
It kicked in just prior to the arrival of COVID. That horrible thing that happened. But it's not actually a lockdown album. The project was ready on the go, and then COVID arrived. But we kept it going when we could, and using digital formats and stuff, so we didn't have to meet up with people and bits and bobs like that. So it's probably took about 2.5 years to get it together.
2.5 years work.
Yeah. Just grabbing studio time when we could.
Yeah. I've been just looking through the album and see another great name that's been in here many, many times, and that's Ian. Yep. Ian's playing on the next track that we're going to play.
Yeah,
fantastic. Speedo Wilson.
Yeah, Speedo. Yeah.
In fact, all the artists that home in along with you there are top rankers. And it's always difficult to produce an album that is music alone.
Yeah.
Very difficult. Everybody knows the words of a song. They'll join in the chorus and that. But that last track was really relaxing.
Thank you.
And it was called The Long Day. The next one that's going to come up will be
It's the drone.
The Drone.
Yeah.
Now, tell me how that came about.
Okay. It's kind of funny. I was down in the studio, down with Vic Fulton at our studios there, and I had the bass with me, and I had an idea. And the drone from the bagpipe kind of stuff for the alien pipes and stuff like that. And Vic said, what we're going to do with this, and it sort of grew from that, just keeping a groove going. Built it up over a few evenings, visits to the studio, and then I always wanted to get a bit of lambeg onto something. So through my friend David McLean, we got the hold of Willie Drannan, who kindly supplied some lambeg for it, and vocals, not dead wordy vocals sung from a girl in work, Kira Miller, and it sort of grew from that, and it got to where I wanted it to get an ethereal feel of the feeling of just Ireland pretty well,
Yeah. Well, when you were last in the studio here, it was with Ragbone.
Yeah.
And it was Ian Walsh and Ian McMullan and yourself.
Yeah.
And all original material in that too.
Yeah.
And did you have a hand in the writing of that?
Yeah, it was a very much a shared project. It came out of the Ragbone thing, you should probably know, from a renal charity gig. We got on well together, so I said, well, let's go and do an album. And so we just wrote the songs as it went along.
Yes. Well, Ian, being a very well-known surgeon, a lot of funds did go towards his charity of his choice.
Yeah.
And an excellent job they did. What we're going to do is we're going to listen to another track, and this time it is called The Drone. Well, that was The Drone, and the last two tracks we heard were, of course, written by our old good friend Ali McKenzie. And I did say an instrumental is a difficult thing to release because everybody likes the words to songs. I can imagine myself sitting of an evening with just the glow of the fire and listening to that. So, it's my type of music, I would say. Yeah. So, is there anything else in the offing?
I'd love to do another one, but we'll have to get the money on board for that. But I was trying to promote this one in the vein of anybody looking for theme music and stuff like that there for tracks, and maybe do something live soon, put a band together. Took a lot of rehearsal to get that stuff out, I'll tell you, but it's just keeping moving forward with it, is the thing, and trying, obviously with support with people like yourself is very beneficial.
As I have said, akin to lying back there in the city with the fire glow and the lights in the house off and really good rhythmic music going on in the background. And so much so, I've decided that what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you, one of you, win a copy of the album. It's Sanctuary Wood. There are 10 songs on it, and each one is first class. We'll tell you all about that in just a few moments' time. But let's get back over to our good friend, Ali McKenzie. Ali, the music in the two tracks we played were very relaxing. Would this be so of the entire album?
There's a couple of other tracks in the album that are a bit more dynamic, so to say. It's a bit of a mix in that respect. I like my rock music. I like the grooves and stuff like that. So some of it's a bit harder hitting in places, Oh,
that's good.
I was just about, whenever we were chatting earlier on about production and stuff like that, so elements of that come in where it's a bit sparser in places, and in other places it's a bigger mix, and it comes across too from the guests that I have on the album as well. They've brought some of their own flavour to it as well, which has been a nice effect. It gives it a bit more dynamic pretty well.
Well, what I have to say, folks, is as I've said before, it's a difficult thing to release an album such as this. This one's called Sanctuary Wood, and it's by Ali McKenzie. There are 10 tracks on it, and if you like that music that you can fade away to, relax, and realise it is all first-class musicians from Northern Ireland doing it, I'm going to give you an opportunity to get one. And it's nothing to do with this particular album. It's to do with the last time we had our good friends in from Ragbone. And as I said, our good friend Ali here, he plays in that band along with Ian Walsh and Lynn McMullan. Now, the name of the band, Ragbone, people have said to me, you know what that's about, don't you? And I said, no. Well, it's medical. It's medical. Yeah. And it was the arranged terms. So what I'm going to ask you is, people of the 70s and perhaps even into the 80s, there were two great people, and they were Ragbone. They were rag and bone men. And the first name was Blank and Son. All you have to do is contact me and tell me what it is. So in the 70s, great TV programme, comedy, and it was about rag and bone men. And it was Blank and Son. When you send all those in to me, the answer, I'll pick out all the good ones, put them in a hat, and if you are correct, I'll draw one out, and we will let you know who wins the album before the end of the day. So, next up, I have to say thank you very much, Ali, for coming along.
Well, thanks for inviting me over. It's
and
great.
When the next album comes, you'll be back with that. Or maybe in another band. He's played in many, many bands and still does. What I'm going to say to you folks is it's been wonderful having Ali in the studio, and I hope some of you are lucky. How to contact the studio is just so easy. You can text or WhatsApp on 07486 893 247. You can telephone on 02890 23 89 89, or you can email at studio@belfast89.com. Well, I often said my goodbyes to Ali. I'm going to have to give you a touch of the weather.